We had extensive discussions over the course of the week. I don't know if you noticed it, but we made some adjustments to our neutral zone. Went to a more defensive play, and I think that maybe we caught them off guard there a little bit in the first period, and I think they weren't expecting it. Certainly think that we had the majority of the play for 30 minutes of that hockey game. But missing a couple key guys, and I don't like making excuses, because on the flip side of that, a guy like Hamish stepped up and scored a huge goal for us to draw it up. So there was guys that stepped into it, but a couple individual mistakes cost us, a couple easy goals, 2 power play goals, and it was game over for us. But you know what? That's one of the best teams in the country, and we were down to 8 imports. And that's difficult, you know what I mean? That is difficult for us to absorb, especially an import down. So we're basically playing three imports down against a very strong team, and they played their hearts out. But I noticed in that second period, towards the end there, Sheffield cranked it up a notch. We got a bit scrambly. We held on, came back out, and I think it was Bobby hit the crossbar first few opening seconds of the third. Could have changed that game around, but woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? We didn't do enough to win the hockey game or get a point tonight, which is disappointing. But we got this tough run up, and we knew it was going to be difficult to get the points, and we just got to bounce back and show up in Cardiff tomorrow to hopefully get some points.
Not going to make excuses, but a couple key guys out of the lineup, a couple guys sick, a couple guys banged up. Hurting unit out there, but you know what? We battled. We came out unbelievable first half of the game. We played fantastic, and then they got a 4-on-3 power play goal there, and we're still in good position. And about a minute 30 left. They got one guy, basically a 1-on-3, nothing play, and they get a goal out of it, and I think it kind of sunk the life out of us a little bit. But a quick one in the third though, that kills us. But you know what? The effort was there. Guys battled hard right to the end, and a couple of individual mistakes I think cost us in the end. We're chasing the game instead of holding on to it, and we definitely didn't get any favors tonight. But that stuff happens, and we just gotta put it behind us, because we got a really tough test tomorrow down in Cardiff. 7 a.m. bus and long trip for a tough game.
I think some guys ran out of gas, and some guys definitely haven't played that much the course of the season, and they're expected to step up big, and of course teams identify that, you know what I mean. So, and they picked their spots a little bit, and they had a couple set plays. So it's difficult to keep the momentum down or going when you're down key guys. But I thought they battled back. We're down 3-2. The building went absolutely silent. You could hear that, and I think people had written us off. We come back and tie it up, and all of a sudden that atmosphere was right back. So we did kind of keep the momentum going. We believed in ourselves. We still think that we are quite capable of beating all the teams that come in here. And then just some unfortunate bounces, and we lost that last power play goal, and then there was no way back.
Guys start getting bagged and tired and start making mistakes, and at the 4-on-3 goal was just kind of got caught out of position. We left their most dangerous guy wide open in the slot, and then like I said, their second goal was just no need for that to be a goal. It's basically a 1-on-3, and the guy cuts to the middle and gets a quality shot off. So but what can you do? We come in the room, we're 2-2, and go out and make another individual mistake first minute, and they go up 3-2, and then we got one back. Hamish, that line, they generated some offense tonight, and got us tied back up, and then they get another power play goal. Just you get outmanned in front of the net and out battled, and they pick up a rebound. So, but you can nitpick it all you want all day, but at the end of the day, guys battled, and it's a valiant effort.
I think every time you come up here, you've got to compete, because this building is a building you can't afford not to compete in. And for the first period, Sheffield didn't compete, especially the first 10-12 minutes. And in all fairness, if John Lennon had been in goal for the Sheffield Steelers tonight, he'd still be alive, because Fife had so many chances but just didn't hit the net. And they probably lost their chance to take something out of the game in that first period. They come out in the second session, get off to a great start, score 2 goals. A real bad line change for Sheffield for the first one, but then real graft and hard work for the second one by Fife. Sheffield get the 5-on-3 power play. I'm sure we'll talk about officiating. It was shocking both ways tonight, whichever way you look at it. But then I think the pivotal moment was a 1-on-3 play. Michelle has nowhere to go. minute and a half left in the period. Really shouldn't score. Cuts his way through 3-5 flyers and then slots home nicely. 2-2 momentum change then, isn't there? And then, of course, Gertson gets that 3-2 goal, and Fife never looked like scoring. That's all. They were dead and buried. But then McAlpine, give that third line a huge amount of credit. They came out. It was a workmanlike goal. McAlpine gets a great shot away, 3-3. Hey, it looks like we're going to share the points and go into the lottery that is the overtime or the shootout. Wasn't to be. Late power play. Could have been late power plays either way. But referee Paul won. It was definitely a tripping call. I mean, it was a tripping call. He missed 37 penalties one way, 37 penalties the other way. He did call that one. It was a trip. It was a proper penalty. And Sheffield scored on the power play. Sheffield's power play hasn't been great this season, but it clicked tonight. They got the 5-on-3, then they got the 5-on-4 power play goal to win it. Then, of course, the couple of empty nets. It's not a 6-3 game, it's a 4-3 game. And, from a Sheffield perspective, we go home very happy and a mightily little bit relieved.
We were kind of really the only team that, besides Braehead, of course, that were beating the Southern Conference team, and all of a sudden, Hull's woken up, Dundee's woken up, and I mean, those are crucial points, specifically because our division's so tight. You look at the league standing, and now that's starting to kind of turn into a bit of a logjam. So we knew this tough stretch here we'd be absolutely delighted to grab some points out of these games, but it just makes the doubleheader against Dundee, doubleheader against Hull, that more important, you know what I mean? So, we sound like a broken record, but we keep harping on that. Every point we got to scrap for every point. You know what I mean? Or we'll find ourselves on the outside looking in, and we definitely don't want to be in that position again.
I think the thing that's impressed me most is the progression that's been made. I think last year we came here and it was, we're back in Fife again. Everybody was happy just to be in Fife. I think Fife are happy just to get the Elite League back and be playing at the top level. I think other teams are happy just to be coming here and reminiscing in this old place and reminiscing and just be happy to have Fife back on. There was no expectation. I think this season now there is a bit of expectation. The British players that struggled in the first half of last season and developed through the latter half of that season have got better. They hold their own against the other British players in this league. And now you've got a little bit more import involvement. Therefore, you're not just relying on one or two players where you were last year. This year you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch, especially since Chamont's come and joined you. He's giving you that added scoring depth. So now you can beat teams. You've beaten Belfast, you've beaten Sheffield, you've beaten Coventry. You can win games in this building, and it's giving you hope and desire, which the conference system was set out to do. So I think the conference system has worked for the Five Flyers, but also now there is that natural progression. You're getting better, you're more competitive, you will make the playoffs. I'm convinced of that, and therefore I think people in Fife should now be looking then next season and make the next stage up to become a mid-table team or a team that's going to challenge Braehead in the conference and try and challenge Cardiff and Coventry in league standings.
I think it's great that nobody knows that anything's a foregone conclusion. We're not seeing a lot of blowouts this year, which is nobody wants to go and see like a 7-1 game, 8-1 game and stuff like this. These games are tight. They're seeing some good hockey. And long may it continue. We talked earlier that the strides that this team's made. We got a taste of winning, and it's frustrating because every week we're coming here, and all we want to do is win, right? That's all we're thinking about now. Guys are like, in the past, guys would be happy with keeping it close like that. Guys are pissed off in that room right now. Guys are frustrated. Guys want to win. They want to do good. So that's we have that going for us, and us as an organization, a team, have to, we have to step up and make sure that we do everything possible, to provide these guys with the best opportunity to win, and ourselves as players go out there and do the business. So we're making positive strides, but that isn't good enough for this year. We have to hit some of our targets, and we're there, but we have to push through this last third of the season or whatever it is, and make sure that we accomplish that.
And when you look at where Scottish hockey was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it was on its backside. There was just the Edinburgh Capitals. They were making a really poor show of trying to promote the sport in Scotland and carry the flag, if you like, for Scottish hockey. I think you have to give Neil Black a lot of credit. Neil Black brought the Braehead clan into the league, and people looked at him like he got two heads when he did that. But without him doing that, Dundee wouldn't have come to the Elite League. Without Dundee, Fife wouldn't come to the Elite League. And without Braehead, there wouldn't be this great garden Gardner Conference, this tight Gardner Conference, and Scottish hockey wouldn't be having this resurgence than it's had. So a lot of people knock Neil Black. I think people in Scotland actually should pat him on the head and say, hey, thanks very much for doing that, because without him, you'd still be playing in the SNL, so would probably the Dundee Stars, and the Edinburgh Capitals would be making a pig's ear of it back down in Murrayfield, finishing bottom of the table every year and not really worrying.
Just got to go down there and keep it simple and try to scrape away a point or two. You know, it's like I said, but you know, they've had some teams beat them recently, and they're a team that's going to be coming out hard. So I think if we can play like we did the first 30 minutes tonight for 60, we give ourselves a chance. But we can't have those laps. We've kind of, you know, we had that good stretch there where we weren't having those lapses, but you know, they've seemed to have creeped in the last couple of games. So. We're going to tidy that up a little bit and focus on playing 60 minutes.
Very difficult, yeah. I mean, but Dundee proved that it can be done. I know that Doug's very well prepared, and those guys will probably have paid the price for it. So we may get an angry team coming at us. But fair enough. I mean, we just have to go out, stick to our game. I was quite pleased with our systems. You know, except for the individual breakdowns. But I mean, I thought it was good. And I mean, like. That first line in the first period must have had 4 or 5 right dangerous chances. Our line had some chances. Our line has to start putting that puck in the net. That's our secondary scoring, and it's not there right now. And the third line chipped in with one tonight as well. And they've been getting frustrated by not contributing on the score sheet, but they did tonight. So we got to go to these buildings, and you know what I mean. Like, we got to step it up, and you know, me and Stewie and Dole's going to start putting the puck in the net.
I mean, the talk in the elbow rooms was great. I mean, it was packed out in there. We went for 4 hours and 15 minutes, and I was only just warmed up, but everybody wanted to go home. There was a lot of education to be done, and I feel I was the perfect headmaster, and I educated the people of Kirkcaldy to the right and proper ways. I have to say, through 4 1/4 hours, there was only one disgruntled chap, and he was put in his place pretty sharpish, because he was talking absolute rubbish. I think the people of Fife have embraced the Elite League. I think the people of Fife wanted senior hockey back. They were desperate for it. They've got it. And now that they've got it, they've embraced it. They want more of it. And I think one problem here in Fife is that here we stand in the museum, and I've just done the interviews upstairs, and it's the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. You got to remember, life, yeah, you got to remember yesterday. But tomorrow's more important. And I think right now, I think we should stop this love affair with Fife's history. It's important, and I love history, I love nostalgia. But it is that, it is history, it is nostalgia, and it should be parked as that and enjoyed over a beer. But the most important thing is the development of the players today. The second most important thing is what they're going to be doing tomorrow. And I really see a bright future for the Fife Flyers within the conference system, within the Elite League. I think they will develop, I think they will flourish, and I think they will grow. You talk about the elbow rooms. I had breakfast this morning, and the lady that runs it, her wee boy is 13, 14 years of age. He was playing 2 games today up in Dumfries, he was telling me over breakfast. He skates 4 times a week. You know what? If the kids in Fife are skating 4 times a week, the future is bright for the Fife Flyers, because in Sheffield, in Nottingham, in Coventry, in Cardiff, they might be skating once or twice a week. That's an advantage to these kids in Fife that are coming up. Yes, let's talk history. The Fife Flyers have got a great history of bringing these kids through and making them into top players that then, you know, flee the nest and go and play elsewhere. But most Fife kids want to play for the Fife Flyers, and there's lots of kids coming up through the ranks there who will be Fife. The future is bright for the Fife Flyers. Yes, remember, rejoice in your history, but remember, tomorrow is more important than yesterday.